Oh, holy night, for tales of fright, for anthology horror fans. Night of the Missing was written and directed by Samuel Gonzalez Jr. and Matthew Hirsch. Samuel has done films like The Retaliators. Matthew Hirsch was the segment director for this particular film project. Check out the respective IMDb pages for the full list of their work. And this is an anthology horror movie where you have a woman, played by Jill Aubrey, talking to Sheriff Hudson on one rainy Christmas Eve night, where Sheriff Hudson, by the way, is played by Meredith Thomas, and let's just say this woman is awfully interested in the swath of missing person flyers, because so many people go missing every single year and not many of them are found until tonight. And this woman regales the sheriff with four tales. They get a little more sinister, a little bit more weird, and how bizarre. Well, every time I look around, there are anthology movies in my face. Because anthology movies are a dime a dozen, especially when it comes to horror. The most commercially famous of recent times would be the V/H/S movies, even though VHS Viral is one we don't talk about because, good God, that was the absolute low point of the series. But this gives a chance for filmmakers to flex their creative muscles, even if it's in a short runtime. Speaking of short runtime, a couple of these particular stories don't run all that long, considering the movie runtime is all of 73 minutes, and we don't even get to the first story until 13 minutes in. I understand setting stuff up and everything, but Jesus fucking Christ, when you don't have a lot of time to work with, there you go. So, we start off with We All Scream, a boy really wants ice cream, and that has horrific consequences and a fate that could be determined worse than death, maybe? And then we go to Night Flirt, where you have a young woman named Tammy, played by the incredibly gorgeous Gigi Gustin, who she takes on a phone sex operator job, and one particular person that calls knows maybe a little bit more about her than, was originally anticipated. Very, very strange. And then we get to Miniature, that is about, wait for it, a miniature set with a little bit more underneath the surface. Maybe there's more than meets the eye. Miniature sets, robots in disguise. No robots in this, but you do have the incredibly gifted, incredibly talented, and very, 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 very beautiful Jenna Cannell, who goes by she/they pronouns. Let's just fucking respect people's pronouns. That's just what I want to say right there. But Jenna, love them since Bye Bye Man, Terrifier, she was great in, and Renfield, and always happy to see Jenna Cannell on my screen. She just has that star quality look, and also she's great for horror. She really is great for horror movies. And then we get to You Promised, where a couple, they really want to just, achieve their dreams, and then let's just say the significant other does something that ends up necessitating a couple people coming to their house, including Shane Swerve Strickland, a wrestler, by the way, just in case you didn't guess by the shirt. Actually, Stefan Strickland is the name he goes by in the cast. And if you're a wrestling fan, you'll at least find that appealing. If you're not a wrestling fan, and you probably appreciate that I told you that, but he's a great representation of Washington State professional wrestling and is making it big on the All Elite Wrestling roster as of now. AEW for short. So it was really cool to see him. Great to see Jenna Cannell. And great to see Gigi Gustin, who I had not heard of before and need to seek out more of her projects. So, yeah, it's anthology, and a couple of these stories are maybe 5 minutes, if that, and that's fine. You have a 73-minute runtime, and you didn't get to the first one until 13 minutes in. You still had the end credits, even if they're only a couple minutes. Now, this is available on Screambox if you have that streaming service, or it's available on Amazon for $5 whole to rent. I went the second route because I'm subscribed to enough streaming services as it is, and while I encourage people to support streaming services, which supports filmmakers and cast and crew and stuff like that, I had to go with the other route. And also, throw your hard-earned money towards films like this and filmmakers. They're just trying to, achieve their dream, whether they start with projects like this or big projects and they float around, whatever. Let's support, even if it's something that I don't enjoy or something that other people don't enjoy. I'm more than willing to just plunk down a few bucks because it's the least I can do as a horror movie fan, and just a fan of movies in general, and a fan of people wanting to earn a living however they are able. So, how's the quality of the movie? I mean, I'm not going to say don't watch it, but I'm going to say of all the anthology movies that I have seen this year, this certainly was one of them. Of all the anthology movies that I've seen in the last few years, this was certainly one of them. There are elements that weren't too bad. A couple neat little moments, but overall the quality of this movie is just not all that great. I mean, you have people that you can't tell a whole story, obviously, in an anthology format, but sometimes it's just like we're just going to throw images out there and then boom, we're going to move on to the next one. So, yeah, we open, we basically open with the woman talking to the sheriff, and then we go into the stories. And I'm going to get into spoilers here in a second, but you can check it out on Amazon for the $5 aforementioned fee, or on Screenbox. It's not that awful, but there are moments where I'm like, ooh boy, that probably seemed like a better idea, on paper than execution. But nevertheless, if you're an independent filmmaker, I mean, all you can do is your best. And it is nice that everybody got a chance to shine and do some good stuff. And I got to see Shane Swerve Strickland on film. That was cool. And the gorgeous Jenna Cannell and the aforementioned Gigi Gustin. So now I'm going to get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay. We all scream. This is where the woman basically says, oh, I remember him and everything, a spare change in his pocket. This boy wants an ice cream cone, and he gets one from a nighttime ice cream truck. Apparently they exist. And a clown traps him in his freezer. That's really about it. I mean, he freezes him and then makes the blood pour out of the ice cream cone first, which was a nice, neat little visual, but yeah. So, also it is obvious who the killer is from the very beginning and everything. There's the woman talking. The sheriff seems a little bit unhinged. It's the sheriff, by the way, just in case you didn't gather that right there. And this woman knows that and is basically confessing all this stuff because she's trying to draw the information out of her. Then we go to Night Flirt, where, yeah, Tammy is just having fun, partying around, dancing without pants. That was kind of nice. And the damn TV keeps shutting off, and she sees this confession line where women, listen to confessions and everything from people. And this guy basically was watching her. That's pretty much what it was. Like, she was doing some sexual acts, but then he's watching her. And yeah, this apparently was a short from a year ago, so that's all right. She got, I guess, sucked into the TV or something. I'm not exactly totally sure what. And her mother was looking for her on the milk carton that actually has her picture now. And the lady knows that it's the sheriff. The lady knows it's the sheriff. How is the sheriff doing this? Your guess is as good as mine. Miniature. People are shrunk down in a miniature set. Jenna Cannell tries to set stuff on fire, and that's pretty much it. I was disappointed because I was hoping Jenna Cannell would get more screen time. Anyway, evil hides in tiny places, wouldn't you say? And then you promised. Will wants to make Carol happy. He will do anything to make her happy. So he decides to sell drugs, and that necessitates a couple people coming, including Shane Swerve Strickland. And then his girlfriend ends up getting killed, Wills that is, and now he has an ankle bracelet on there because even though they pretty much know he didn't kill her, he still is a suspect, and they're just going to do that 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after all that. He's there, and the drugs he was trying to sell got stolen, and let's just say Swerve and his friend are not happy. The parole officer, Jim, finally agrees to come over after Will calls him and says, there's something weird going on in my house. There's you promised on the mirror. Carol's ghost is turning all the stuff on to basically make these spooky things. And the ghost ends up killing. Swerve gets kind of killed in a hilarious way, and the other guy gets killed in an even more hilarious way with a knife to the back of his head. Sort of. I mean, the way they shot that wasn't really all that great. And then Jim arrives, piss tests him, and says, oh, you got cabin fever. It's like The Shining. This is the second horror movie that I have seen in a week that has reference to Shining. And then the parole officer got shot. Assuming that Will shot him or Carol shot him? I don't know. And I mean, he's holding the gun, but whatever. That's it. That's it for that. And then the woman tries to get the secrets from the sheriff, and the sheriff apparently is an all-powerful demon that can turn into a clown that traps kids in an ice cream truck and does this and everything. And yeah, the sheriff ends up burning the goddamn thing down. Oh, Holy Night plays, and she has a sack of body parts to deliver somewhere. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. This was... I love horror movies, and there were a couple neat little ideas here. I mean, this was more of an experiment than anything else. Else filmmakers go on to do, you know, bigger and better projects and everything, and hopefully everybody gets to do, you know, more projects. But yeah, this gets an F. I'm sorry. I'm not saying don't check it out. For me personally, it didn't appeal. F. Agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.